Hello, I'm back, and we'll talk about PCS coding this week with obstetrics. Again, obstetrics is a pretty straightforward chapter in my view. The main thing you have to pay attention to are the details, the root operations, and you have to know your anatomy to determine the correct body part. Again, there's some terms. Most people are familiar with one, and the one that we struggle with sometimes, or at least some struggle with, is this last one, the products of conception. Be on the lookout for these, as you'll see these often in obstetric procedures. And again, all PCS codes reported from the obstetric sections, the first character will always be 1, as in the number 1. They use the same body system character in the second position to report a pregnancy. And again, root operations. These are the types of things that you can go directly to. If you're comfortable with that, I would suggest get the text of the procedure or operative note and see what you see in the alphabetic index first. There are guidelines which you should read, particularly C2, involving procedures following a delivery or an abortion. And then the fourth character, again, products of conception. This could either be retained or ectopic. And again, approaches, pretty straightforward: open percutaneous, percutaneous endoscopic, via natural or artificial opening, or external. If you're unclear on the difference between, say, external and open, or pure percutaneous versus percutaneous endoscopic, please consult the table with the root operations directory and the approaches in the book. So here we have an example. Low cervical cesarean delivery. How do we code it? Here it is. We look here. The section is the OB section 1, body system, pregnancy, root operation, extraction, body part products of conception, it's 0. Approach is open, there's no device, and the qualifier is low. Therefore, we have 1, 0, D, 0, 0, Z, 1. I hope you found that helpful. Please email me or see me during office hours if you have any other questions. Bye now.